guys, how's it going? It's Al. Welcome to the Week 10 ReignMakers preview here on the Al Smizzle Fantasy Football channel. We're going to talk about all the NFL DFS options for ReignMakers this week, looking at the optimal plays, 3 superstars who I believe are the optimal plays at superstars on the 10-game main slate this week, and then we'll go check out a couple of quarterbacks, a couple running backs, and about 3 pass catchers that I think you should be targeting. We'll look at the prices in the market for all of those cards. You don't have to buy those cards. Hopefully you have most of them at this point in the season, but if you're looking to get in, it'll kind of show you how cheap it is to get in at every single buy-in tier for the most optional players at each spot. So thank you guys for being here. Drop a like on the video, subscribe to the channel, ring the notifications bell. Here's your homework for this week. Share the video with a friend of yours. Send them the link that does not play ReignMakers football yet and see if they've opened up their free pack. And if they haven't, have them open their free pack, send them this video, and have them play a core lineup in week 10. Let's go.
He's a legend.
The Smiz Gang Listener League is posted for week 10. It's a $10 entry fee, and the only way to enter it is to go to smizzle.tv/links. It is a 3-max tournament with absolutely no rake. This game does not show up in the lobby on DraftKings. You have to go to the link tree. So if we go over to the link tree and we come right down here, you can follow me on Twitch and see the live streams where I'm live 6 days a week. Instagram, go follow me there. Here's the link to the Listener League. It'll take you right to that last page where you can enter your lineup, 3 of them at most. And also, Best Buys is up for the week. Comes out every single Thursday. If I click on that, look at here. Takes me right over to ESPN, where if you're an ESPN Plus subscriber, you can read my daily fantasy week 10 Best Buys. I know you got ESPN. You probably. Taking a look at the first player that I'm interested in as a captain this week, one of the most powerful cards because quarterbacks are extremely powerful in ReignMakers. You have to have a quarterback. There are less of them, and there are very few that can score you 25 plus points on a week and correlate with other non-superstar cards that can be pulled up a division. Patrick Mahomes fits all of those classes, so if you have yourself a Patrick Mahomes card, there are not very many quarterbacks, especially with many of them being off the slate, right? So we have like the Eagles are off the slate, Herbert off the slate, Ravens and Lamar Jackson gone, Joe Burrow not playing, and Tom Brady and Geno Smith also off the slate playing in Germany this week. Not that many quarterbacks that have a projection at 25 or higher. In fact, none on this main slate. And very few have the possibility of scoring 35 or more fantasy points in a week. So Patrick Mahomes gives you this really, really high floor ceiling combination that can be unmatched because players can't call up their lower tier Patrick Mahomes to play up a tier. Let's take a look at the marketplace on him. If you're playing at the core tier, $18 for a Patrick Mahomes. Coming up to rare, they're about $90 floor. Core is where it really starts to explode, right? You get like a 10x. It's usually like a 5 to a 10x going up from rare to elite, and then it multiplies higher when you get up to legendary and above at ReignMakers here. But like, if you want to play core, if you're new and you've opened your starter pack, you're like, you know what? I want to build around Patrick Mahomes. I don't really like the superstars that I have, or they're on bye week or off the slate. Patrick Mahomes is an easy place to go to, especially at core, as you'll find out throughout the video. Saquon Barkley. This is actually my Saquon Barkley ReignMaker card. I highlighted mine this week. I don't always get to do that, so I wanted to do it now. I bought this one before the season. One of the players I was highest on coming into this season based on his ADP, and in ReignMakers based on his actual card price at auction, where I got this hologram ReignMaker tier Saquon. He is now a superstar. He has 2-week super viability here coming off of his bye week. Yes, this week we get the game against Houston, but there are no buy-ins on ReignMakers tournaments. So if you have the card and you have a full lineup of cards that are viable that you can enter into a game, you then get to play those cards every week for the remainder of the season. The bonus here is they get Houston this week, which is a fantastic matchup with somebody we've been streaming running backs against all season long. And then next week they play against the Detroit Lions. So if you're just buying in on a Saquon Barkley card right now, $12 at core. Like, this seems super cheap. It's because he's a superstar. The price came down. So if you had a Saquon Barkley core before, they were more expensive because in week 9, they changed the superstars. They added some guys. They removed it from others. And at the lower tiers, core, rare, stopping basically at about elite, superstar cards get suppressed in terms of price because they can't be pulled up. You can't take a core Saquon and pull him up to play in rare games. You can't take an elite and play him up in legendary games. They're stuck to their tier and down. So it holds down the price on them. So if you wanted to buy into a 2-week fantastic matchup with Saquon. You can $12 there, $50 for his rare card is the floor on the market right now. Cooper Kupp is basically good all the time. We have to wait and see though. Right now it was between him and Tyreek Hill. I chose Cooper Kupp. Currently Matthew Stafford is in concussion protocol. Apparently he thinks that he's Batman, so if he's out, I like Cooper Kupp a little bit less. You can substitute another superstar wide receiver in here, whether it's Tyreek Hill, whether it's Justin Jefferson. Both of them project very well this week and pretty much every single week. So go for it if that's your spot. Taking a look at his pricing, $12, $10 for Cooper Kupp. I love Cooper Kupp as a one-off, specifically in ReignMakers this year. I tend to stack or double stack as much as I can throughout my collection. I build through a quarterback. I buy 2 wide receivers that go along with them. And I've been playing Cooper Kupp in a lot of single entry contests this year in ReignMakers at the tiers that I have a Cooper Kupp card, because he just scores 30 points and his quarterback doesn't score 20, and it doesn't even matter. He's going to get his 25 to 35 pretty much every single week. He provides me with a fantastic floor ceiling combination and allows me to stack through something else, or just play kind of like a cash game type of lineup. 5 unrelated cards, whatever I kind of have left over that are non-superstars that fit in on a high floor, high ceiling basis, instead of building through the normal correlation that I would for most of my lineups. $58 is his cheapest rare. $600 is his cheapest elite card. If you have not already, jump in the Discord, smizzle.tv/Discord. There's a link down below to the links tree where you can go to. We just talked about that in the open. And make sure that you pick up a Smizzgang HQ key. There is some very important investment advice that I have just put this week in the HQ, specifically for ReignMakers cards. This is something that I've been updating and alerting our HQ members to as the year goes along, but there is some very important guidance in there right now for the rest of this regular season and beyond. So make sure that you join the HQ today and jump in the Discord so you can be a part of our discussion in the ReignMakers folders, as well as the UFC one that is now started populating as ReignMakers has moved over to UFC on top of football. Justin Fields has been the QB1 over the last 5 weeks in fantasy football. That's impressive. For a guy that so many people thought sucked 5 weeks ago, now all of a sudden, it appears that he does not. He can do a lot of things when you put him in an offense that is tailored to his actual skill set, which means run him 8 to 12 times every single game. Specifically this year, add a player like Chase Claypool that should increase his efficiency when they do throw the ball, which isn't often. He only throws it like 20 to 25 times, but we saw a massive ceiling from him last week. And because of the rushing yards, touchdown expectation, big splash ability when he runs the ball, he had a 60-yard touchdown call back against Minnesota. He had like a 65-yard touchdown last week in that game that he scored like 45 plus DraftKings points. He's a dangerous man at this point. And his cards have ballooned. $18 at core, does not have to be stacked if you wanted to play one of those lineups. Kind of like I said, he is a non-superstar, right? So you can play him and Cooper Kupp in a lineup and have 2 very easy one-offs and build secondary stacks at the other spots to just get you players with a really high floor and ceiling possibility. Not a bad way to go if you're not trying to build out correlated stacks. If you are trying to build correlated stacks, Tua Tagovailoa is a fantastic way to go, because you can call him up as a non-superstar to play with your Tyreek Hills, who is a new superstar. So this elite one, I try to choose cards that make sense for the pictures here. So Tua being on, I like the color match on the elite card with the Dolphins uniform. If you have a legendary tier Tyreek Hill, you can buy the lower tier Tua to stack with him and a lower tiered Waddle to stack with him. Now that goes for if you have a rare Tyreek Hill, if you have an elite Tyreek Hill, it doesn't matter. You can just save money by buying the down tier card to get you there. $15 at the core level, $78 because of how many people have Tyreek Hills and now want to call Tua up, and how great he's been and how powerful that duo has been with Hill and Waddle, taking up 3 of the 5 spots in your ReignMakers lineup to allow you to maximize through that double stack. Alvin Kamara, perfect for DraftKings scoring at running back. You don't need him to correlate with anything. My running backs I've been using as call-up one-offs, meaning I buy players that are non-superstars like Kamara that are a tier down to play with my tiered up superstar stacks, because that's just the way that I've chosen to play the game. and has been somewhat profitable for me over the course of the first 9 weeks. So Alvin Kamara, every week, he's a matchup-proof running back. He is a game flow independent running back who can greatly help your teams. $12, $13 at the core tier. You're talking about 5 cards that you can get for less than $60 off of this list. Like looking at buying one superstar and then picking 4 other cards that either correlate or don't. Building a lineup in core is like $60 and down to get an elite level, not an elite tier, but an elite level lineup. It is not hard to play. So hopefully you're in a state that allows ReignMakers. And if you have not tried it, open up your free pack, see what you have to fill in on the market, and have some fun, because it's been fun, and I think that more people should try it. Josh Jacobs has been outstanding this season, and he's been meh this season. We've seen him run off a 3-game stretch unlike any other running back in the history of fantasy football, and then he had a 2-game stretch that was quite average. Now he gets a fantastic matchup, and less people are going to be paying attention because they would rather play the shinier objects in the window. He is going to be an underplayed player in DFS tournaments. But when it comes to ReignMakers, like, everybody's under 5%. It doesn't really matter in ReignMakers. You're going to get a little bit unique. I do expect him to have over 20 opportunities this week, as well as having good usage in the passing game. If they get inside the 5, he's going to get that usage as well. And a fantastic matchup at home, 5-box running back against Indianapolis. Taking a look at his cards, 12, 13 at the core tier, 55 up to 60 as you go a little bit higher, 689 as people that are playing at the higher tiers really do recognize the value in pulling up Josh Jacobs as a non-superstar to go along with their superstar stacks. DeAndre Hopkins, since his return, has been absolutely outstanding. Yes, he had a little bit of a down week last week, but the volume should come back this week. Yes, he is going to square off in a tough matchup against Jalen Ramsey. No, I do not think that you should fade DeAndre Hopkins. And if you look at his prices in ReignMakers, they would agree. Now, the DeAndre Hopkins cards are less populous because of the suspension. They did not print as many of these cards. So his cards are somewhat artificially high, not artificially, just based on the rarity of them. So there's less cards out there, which means less on the market, which means that they are a higher price. So you can see through the other cards that we've detailed, like looking over at the core tier, Josh Jacobs, 1,000, 1,725, 3,000, 2,000. This is the Dead Fellas set, 600, 600. But if you look over at DeAndre Hopkins, you're looking at 3,600, 1,600. That's it. There's just way less in circulation, which is driven the price tag up on the DeAndre Hopkins cards. If you happen to pull one in the first 6 weeks, you're like, oh, I have DeAndre Hopkins, I can't play him. That kind of sucks. Doesn't suck anymore. But you can see the big price increase, like 50% increase over the standard rare card that's on this list being around 60. The Hopkins are up around 95 and then jump quickly to over 130, 135 and 139 at the rare tier. So very expensive pickup, but has definitely produced some really solid games. Big ceiling player. Amon-Ra St. Brown. I'm waiting. 19 targets the last 2 weeks. Please complete more passes to your boy Jared. Please can you just throw the ball where he can catch it? Because, like, you lost a lot of targets, or at least a lot of earned targets when you traded TJ Hawkinson away. So, like, you just have to throw the ball 10 to 15 times a game to Amon-Ra St. Brown. It would make all of the people who have his cards extremely happy. His cards are very suppressed on the market right now. I think that he is probably one of the better values of the non-playoff teams that's out there if you're trying to get a player into your lineup, who's going to correlate well because we always stack against the Lions, so you might as well have him as a secondary stack or a bring back option to your primary stack, and under $10 at the core tier for somebody who does project to have over 10 targets a game. These prices could go up a little bit based on the fact that if he has like a 25 plus point game, they may go up, but the Lions don't really have very much playoff expectation, so that could keep the prices down. We'll have to monitor that situation as the year goes on. And finally, Travis Kelce, to go along with that Patrick Mahomes play from earlier. He has been the perfect complement with the amount of targets that he's getting and scoring essentially wide receiver 1 points on the season. His prices are high, $22, because anybody who has a Patrick Mahomes is either has a Travis Kelce or is buying a Travis Kelce. Anybody who just bought a Patrick Mahomes is gonna go get a Travis Kelce. So demand will always remain high, especially because of the tier up possibilities that go along with this non-superstar card. So if you have a rare tier Patrick Mahomes, you are probably going to own a core tier minimum Travis Kelce, and it works its way up the chart as well. The cheapest elite version is $875, then jumps over $1,000 for all of those. He is one of the more powerful cards in the game because of his attachment to Patrick Mahomes and his ceiling. Anytime Patrick ceilings, Kelce is probably going to be a part of a money-making lineup that week, if not a tournament-winning lineup that week. So thank you guys for watching. Look out for another video right there.
He's a legend.